Good morning, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Hope you're warming up your queue, chilling down your Chardonnay. Oh, wait, you don't have any Chardonnay? We have Chardonnay. Oh, wait, you're on a budget? We have your budget Chardonnay. This Memorial Day, the Great Greg Norman giveaway. We know it's your day off. We know you're busy doing nothing. We don't want you to put that thinking cap on. We don't want you to have to sit here and analyze stuff and think about stuff as you're on the couch, wondering which game to watch. Do I take the ribeye out of the fridge now and let it warm up? Salt one side, salt both sides. These are the pressing questions today. So we want to make this easy for you. We're going to make two remarkable deals for you today that you can just click and shoot and buy as much as you want. Until it runs out. Too easy. So Greg Norman, yeah, that Greg Norman, the golfer, the shock. The shock. I just like saying, I'm going to say it a couple more times. It's a bit like saying Higginbotham. It's fun. It's fun. The shark. Well, hell of a golfer, and a hell of a golfer who loved wine. So back in 1996, actually, this is going on, hell's bells, almost 30 years now. Greg started a small label with the help of a local, larger Australian wine concern. And we sold that first wine. It was a 96, might have been actually Coonawarra Shiraz, or was it Cabernet? It had a black label on it. And that wine did very well. It was a very exciting wine for the time. And the Greg Norman label was a very exciting label. And fast forward 30 years, the Greg Norman label is still around. But then, he diversified. There's 10 different varietals now, I guess. He's in California, obviously. He's doing New Zealand as well, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a bit of a machine. And the deal is, it's a machine dedicated towards value. I would say premium value, but, once in a while, I'll use a golf analogy. You can drive it too far, right? And then you're in between clubs on your second shot into the green, right? You're like, oh man, if I'm 70 yards out, then I'm a golfing moron, by the way. If I'm 70 yards out, then I can just, sand wedge it in there. But boom, all of a sudden you drive it too far, you're like 20 yards out. And you're like, I suck with a pitching wedge. And I think that kind of happens in the wine world too, where you can drive it, you think you get the greatest shot, and then you're like, oh, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I think that's what happens with stuff like Greg Norman, where you hit that shot, brilliant shot, but you kind of get stuck in the middle of nowhere. And today we're offering two wines that were kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere. I'll just open one of them, but today we're offering the Greg Norman 2021 Limestone Coast Shiraz and the Greg Norman 2022 Russian River Valley Chardonnay. Now, these are both high-end appellations. You may not be familiar with the Limestone Coast, but Limestone Coast is an appellation in South Australia that encompasses the famous Coonawarra, Mount Gambier, Pathway, the very equally famous Rattenbully. What it is basically it's the south tip of South Australia where there's like a bunch of nothing out there. And they consolidated several major wine growing regions into one kind of catch-all appellation, the Limestone Coast, and that's where Greg Norman sources his Shiraz. The Shiraz is made by Ben Riggs, super famous winemaker, has made some of the greatest wines in Australia's history through Wira Wira, through his own Mr. Riggs label. You've tasted his wine, you've drank his wine, you've enjoyed his wine. And Riggsy makes the Shiraz for Greg Norman. Does a great job. Classic Shiraz from this area, which is not heavy, but it's not light either. It's wonderfully medium to full-bodied and not jammy or porty. It is more savory, more classic, almost like a Frenchy spin on Shiraz. Except think of something like a Crow's Hermitage, but maybe veers a little more towards like the Girl Scout cookie side of things and less towards the Thuringer sausage side of things. That's kind of beautiful, exquisite Shiraz, 21, great vintage. I love this wine. If I'd seen this wine earlier, I might have bought this wine anyway at its regular price. It's really tasty. So we got that guy, and then we have, this is a unicorn. Well, when I tell you the price, it'll be unicorn. So Russian River Valley Chardonnay, 2022 vintage. Do you know how much Russian River Valley Chardonnay grapes cost nowadays? A lot. It's one of the most revered areas for Chardonnay on the planet. And Greg was able to source some kick-ass fruit in the Russian River Valley and made a hell of a Chardonnay. And the wine's like, long story short, I'm gonna cut it for you because I know you're thinking about taking that ribeye out. These wines usually sell for around $18 to $22. And they're already set up to be values at that price. Let's get this straight. They're already set to over-deliver at around 20 bucks a bottle. They're already beating the competition. They've already been designed to say, whoa, this kicks ass at 20 bucks. But today, for the great Greg Norman giveaway on Memorial Day, your choice, $9.98. Shut the front door. $10 a bottle. Dude, 10 bucks. Really? Russian River Valley Chardonnay for $10 a bottle? Look it up. It does not happen. This is going to be the only probably bottle of Russian River Valley Chardonnay at 10 bucks in the United States. Incredible. Scores, yeah, there's some like 90, 92 on this guy. I think this guy got a 90 somewhere, but that's really not too much the point here. The point here is world-class wine by great winemakers from top appellations for no money. Now, on the bad side, we have less than 40 cases of each. So what they had wasn't a lot. I think there's like 40 of this and 30 of this, or 30 of this and 40 of this, something like that. And that is it. And I can tell you what, wines like this at this price, at $9.98 on the shelf around here, fly. Because people know that when we offer a $10 wine out, it's not some BS wine. It is legit gear, beautiful, delicious gear, and it's like stealing. So again, run, don't walk. It'll take you 10 minutes to click. You can buy these now, then pull the steak out of the fridge, then wonder, roasted potatoes, roasted asparagus, what do I do on the side? Have all those discussions after you click and buy these wines. You need to do this first, because if you take your steak out and start snapping the ends off your asparagus and then come back to this, it might be gone. And that, folks, would be a shame. Happy Memorial Day. Enjoy.